Dead. The Mavericks lose to the Nuggets. Definitely a disappointing loss. You're up by 19 points. You got to win that basketball game. You got to figure out ways because you're going to have a hard time winning games. This is what I was prepping you guys for. I was prepping you guys for this reality that wins could be kind of difficult to come by. I know that they were whatever they were, 7-2. What was the record without Luka up until that stretch? And it's sort of blinded a lot of people into thinking that this was going to be fine. Of course, that was before Kyrie also went out. But you got to come out with this win. 12 points in the fourth quarter. Shout out to the Denver Nuggets. They slept walk early in this game, and they really turned it on from really the second quarter onward. Third quarter, the Mavericks played really well. But fourth quarter, guess what happened? You got gamed. You got gamed by a team with one of the best players, if not the best player in the league, in Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray was making plays. Aaron Gordon was making plays in the fourth quarter of that game. And you ran out of juice. You started this game shooting incredibly well. I believe the second half of the game, 2 of 19, 2 of 18 from 3. You lose the game. And it sucks to drop what was a winnable game to a team that is right next to you in the standings. And also, again, as I mentioned, when you're at this point, wins are going to be hard to come by. You got to take the ones that are available to you. You just have to. Now, here's where I flip the switch a little bit because so much online discussion, fire the coach, the coach sucks, that. Guys, was always going to happen. I don't know what to tell you. A 33-12 fourth quarter. What is that the sign of? Is that the sign of horrible, horrific coaching? Maybe. You want to know what that tells me that's a sign of? You don't have your fucking superstars, man. Why is this so hard to get through the skull of some people? You don't have your stars. Do you realize how difficult it is to win in the league like that? Are you aware of it? Are you aware of how difficult it is to win in this league when you don't have your go-to guys? We can talk, the league sucks. It's just a 3-point. Look at everyone on offense. The game does slow down in the fourth quarter. It does reach that point. The pace slows down. The court just shrinks naturally because there's just better defenders on the basketball court. Teams lock the fuck in. It's a long game, 48 minutes. You're going to get stretches here and there, like the Nuggets in the first quarter, where a team's just not really fully locked in yet. Fourth quarter, teams, for the most part, are locking in. It becomes much more difficult to score. And when your go-to guy, Spencer Dinwiddie, guess what? You're liable for games where you score 12 points in the fourth quarter against a team that fancies themselves contenders. Okay? Here's the reality, man. You shouldn't be doing Spencer Dinwiddie hero ball. Sure. What are the other options? I would love to hear them. I would. Because Dereck Lively operating in the high post, cool. The Nuggets shut that off. That was great when it was working. The Nuggets shut that off. They shut it off. The Mavericks also don't really have a great play initiator right now. It's not really Spence's bag. It's not Hardy's bag. We know that for sure. It isn't Grimes' bag. It's not really Najee's bag. Dinwiddie is on the court, your best self-creator and your best option to get 2 feet in the paint, kick the ball out, and go from there. It's a difficult reality. This is why I tried to prep you guys for this shit, man. I tried to tell you guys this is not going to be that fun. It isn't. This probably is going to suck a little tiny bit. But here's the thing. I'm chilling too. Here's the thing. Here's the reality. And here's the part that you don't really want to hear, but you need to hear. This team's still competing their ass off. It's a good thing. It is. They're not losing. Honestly, God, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I thought they'd be getting their ass kicked. I really did. I thought they'd be getting their asses handed to them in a lot of these games. Just being full honest with you. Not dooming and glooming, just accepting reality. Like, that's not me dooming and glooming. That's just me accepting reality. Like, hey, this team's just... Yeah, I was thinking that too, Joe. Even the Cavs lost. It felt like you were going to lose that game by 30, and then you made it competitive enough down the stretch. And I think what Klay Thompson had to say after the game, great stuff from Klay after the game. I mean, fantastic stuff. This is the reality. And Nick and I were talking about this after the show, whenever I was reading that quote. So it's like, me and him have always talked about this, where it's like, we have to remember that fans, we get worked up. We think about these games for like days after they happen. Players are on to the next fucking thing immediately, man. They get on a plane, they fly somewhere, they go home, they see their kids, they go to dinner, they're hanging out with, players on the other team after the game, going to Drake's and, Nick and Sam's. They're living their life afterwards. They have a much better perspective on these things than us fans do. But I really liked one certain quote from Klay. And I really hope anyone who's like really dooming and glooming about this, I hope that this resonates a little bit, because I found this quote really interesting. This was Klay Thompson after the game. Let's turn it up. Sometimes these press conferences are so quiet. Okay, this is so quiet. So let's I'll read it. Klay Thompson on the adjustment of playing. Shout out to my guy Noah. Klay Thompson on the adjustment of playing without Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. It's definitely an adjustment, and that's the fun part of the season. It's welcome, and I enjoy these moments where we got to battle adversity. Thompson on how he can keep the big games coming, not looking ahead and realizing championships aren't won just because of a great run in the playoffs, but you have to build great chemistry before that. Wow. No, whoops, sorry. The audience got confused. Difference between Podcast P and Klay. This is the type of perspective everyone needs to have, and I'm happy the team has it, or at least they say they have it. Klay Thompson is a 4-time champion. Was a very key part. Very key part. I mean, he's going to make the Hall of Fame because of it. Of one of the greater dynasties the NBA's seen, especially in recent years, when dynasties aren't as commonplace. He knows what it takes. Folks, he knows what it takes. And to hear him talking about this, that, it sucks. This stretch in January and December, it does suck. And you're going to look at it at the end of the season, and it'll be the reason you're not the 2 seed or the 3 seed, maybe even the 4 seed. But these are important moments for this team. And one of the big reasons why it's important, shout out to my guy, Talk, pointing out just how good Dereck Lively has been over the past few games. I thought that full January stats here for Dereck Lively. Nearly 12 points a game, 9.5 rebounds, nearly 4 assists a game, 2 blocks, 78% from the free throw line. Whoa, how about that one? That's actually big. 71% from the field. Had probably, in my opinion, one of, if not the best game of his career against the Portland Trailblazers. I mean, just an incredible game from him. They are following that up with a career high in assists. Oh, that's what it says in the tweet. Previous game, career high in points, rebounds. That was the game against the Blazers. Last night, career high in assists. These are the type of a season from hell, like all these things are going wrong. But Dereck Lively's probably seeing a little bit of an uptick in volume. Also having to be on the court without your without your pacifier. I mean, if we're being honest, without your binky. Like Luka and Kyrie, especially Luka being on the court for some of these guys, it's their binky. And now you take that away. And now it's like, all right, get a little bit comfortable here. Get a little bit comfortable playing without these guys and having to maybe get it out the mud a little bit. And it's really nice to see Dereck Lively do that. It's good to see Klay get the synergy with these two bigs as well. We've seen that all season, really, but we've definitely seen an uptick in that since Luka and Kyrie have been out. We've seen Grimes sort of ascend a little bit over this stretch as well. Hardy's played some of the best minutes of his career over this stretch. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. Should that be Luka's nickname? The Binky? Don't get me wrong. It sucks. And on the flip side of it, it also shines a light on other things. Like this stretch, you could look at and say, Dereck Lively's a monster. Like he's in the plans for 10 to 15 years. Like let's just get that out the way. Klay Thompson, uber comfortable that he's going to be huge in the playoffs. Quentin Grimes, this recent stretch, feel confident he's in the playoff rotation and feel good about it. Najee Marshall, same thing. It also shines a light on other things. Let's call a spade a spade. I'm not sure what I'm seeing from Daniel Gafford at all, really. I've not been impressed with his play at all this season. Especially recently. It's just like the two sides here where Lively's out there, putting together some great performances without Luka and Kyrie, whereas on the other side, Gafford just feels lost at times. Yeah, PJ, but that goes without being said. I mean, this is just to show how reactionary fans are, and I'm not saying Mavs fans, by the way. This is true for every fan base. But just to show how reactionary fans are, I was seeing somebody, I think it was my YouTube comments, I'm not sure. Somebody said, what we actually need, this was after the game yesterday, what we actually need is a PJ Washington upgrade. I'm like, okay, dude, let's settle down a little tiny bit. Let's settle down just a tiny bit, please. Two things can be true. It's a lot harder to win without them. And two, Kid coaches a format that only works where stars carry everyone. He won't coach an underhanded team like a top 15 coach. I mean, dude, look at their guard situation. This team was not built personnel-wise to survive without Luka and Kyrie at the same time. They built themselves a little bit to survive without one of them. We know that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Gafford, and I'm not saying like go out and trade Gafford right now, but I am saying, like Lively's much better than he is. And SJ makes this point, and it's a good point, that a lot of the Gafford criticism is really, at the end of the day, a Dereck Lively criticism. Because he needs to stay on the court more. You really brought in Daniel Gafford in the long run. You did. I know they started him last year and they started him to start this year. Realistically, the front office, Dereck Lively's the future at the position. You bring in Daniel Gafford to be a great backup. That's how you make a move like that. And if Gafford is having to get super big minutes, and he only played 15 minutes last night and wasn't very good, but if he has to get big minutes, then because Lively's hurt or Lively's off the floor because of foul trouble, well, that's a different story. Are you open to Gafford being traded generally? I mean, what's the offer? I don't know. You really have to upgrade your roster in order to make that happen. To open up a hole on your roster, you really have to upgrade elsewhere. I don't know. Offseason, I'm telling you guys right now. The Mavs are making a big move in the offseason. The stars are aligning. I don't think Maxey's getting traded. I really don't. I don't see a trade there. The only world I could see is the Warriors making a big move for somebody and one of their role guys getting rerouted to the Mavs for Maxey. Something I could maybe see. But when we look at like the tanking teams, the selling teams, I don't see a fit for any player on any of those rosters, really. So you kind of have to look at other teams making trades and then rerouting guys. Wiggins could be one. What's Wiggins making? Like 20-something mil? I mean, you'd have to add stuff. But I saw the Kyle Anderson thing, and I'm like, okay, like that yeah, that's the type of trade, I guess. But if you enter the summer, we've gone over this. I'll pull up the cap space again. You enter the summer if you're the Mavericks with, and I usually don't like doing offseason talk whatsoever. But you enter the summer if you're the Mavs with a couple of pretty juicy expiring contracts. And I do think, this is one of my big predictions, I absolutely think the Mavs are going to be very aggressive in the summer, looking to upgrade their roster. You're going to bring back Kyrie, hopefully, assuming you're bringing back Kyrie. You're going to bring back Kyrie at a big number. Hopefully, Luka signs a supermax in the summer. And it's fucking go time from that point forward. It's go time. I know we're go time right now, but it's really go time. Because you're going to have $14 million expiring for Daniel Gafford. That is tradable. Assuming he's on the team in the summer, that's tradable. You got Maxi Kleber, $11 million. That's tradable. Boom. You're at $25 million right then and there. You add Hardy, boom, you're over 30. And then depending on who it is, you could get into the 40s if you really wanted to. So we'll see. Jordan Schultz, for what it's worth, Bill Belichick would have been interested in the Cowboys job, and it's believed that Dallas would have been interested in him had he known the position would become available. Yeah, but can't he accept it though? I thought I saw that there was a clause in his contract that he didn't need to. Oh man. Kellen Moore? Are we serious? Is that really who it's going to be? Ugh. So anyways, look, here's the reality, guys. Buckle up for some more losses. All right? That's just the truth. Buckle up for some more losses between now and the time that all these guys come back. And in the meantime, Shams bomb. I heard the notification. We might have a Shams bomb. LiAngelo Ball side. Boo. That's a fucking. Are we serious? Are we serious that that's the Shams bomb I'm getting? LiAngelo Ball signing a record deal. Kudos to him, though. But I don't want to hear it.